God Family Films. Please like and subscribe for further details.
Young men, come around, come around, come around. God wants to do something. God wants to.
We all have a story, and how God chose to write the chapters of our lives, it's entirely His decision. Hello, viewers, and welcome to part one of a many-part series of How I Got Saved. My name is Claudia Landley, and I will be your host for this season or series. And I trust that you will be blessed, you will be entertained. Now, I want to tell you that there are real people in the house of the Lord like you who had real experiences, and they are today surrendered and serving the real God. On set with me is the Reverend, the Doctor, the Prophet, Otis Manning. Dr. Manning, welcome to How I Got Saved.
God bless you, Sister
How are
Claudia.
you?
I'm wonderful, giving God
Dr. Manning,
thanks.
it is an honor. It's always a pleasure to be in your company, and I'm sure our viewers will be enjoying this chat with you today. So feel relaxed, feel welcomed, feel at home. Indeed, this is your forte, this is your space, and this is what you are built for. Dr. Manning, we want to get one-on-one personal with you for you to share with us the journey from sin to salvation. Dr. Manning, who were you?
God bless you. Thank you for having me. It's a privilege being with you, and it's wonderful to be here with you on this premiere season. Uh, the name, I was born Otis Manning, actually, and I'm from a place called Kelly's Clarendon. It's centrally located in the center of Jamaica, and a very rural district. And oftentimes reminded of the story and the life of a David who was in the backside of the desert, because really that's where I'm coming from, the
Sounds like
backside of the
exile.
desert. Yes. And yet still God would come all the way to the backside and find me. So, be encouraged whatever circumstances you are in. And where I'm from, believe it or not, up to today, there's no running water.
Okay.
So you guys
the
are
spring.
privileged. You guys are privileged to know what a flush toilet is.
Drop straight.
I'm telling you. So I'm used to latrine.
Right.
And I'm sure we'll find some pictures that show you what they look like. So we'll use latrine.
Yes.
And so in the night going out to go to Thailand, sometimes you have to ask somebody to follow you, or you have to hold it until the morning, depends on what it is. So
How about formal learning? Where did that start for you, and how did that shape your views on life? How did that shape your thoughts about Christianity, God, peer pressure? Tell us some more.
all right, let me see if I can put it into perspective. All right, I went to a school called Kelly's Primary School.
Yes.
I got my foundational training there. I would have left that school. I would have left, rather, sorry, to live with my uncle at about grade 5. When I left there, I would have gone to work with my uncle, probably about 13, 14 years old, whenever he would have been going to do work. As a young man in high school, I'd be buying my own bags, my own books, help to pay part of my school fee. I was working with him and kind of, bringing in something. And so that was it for education. But for church, I think God has been doing something kind of weird in my life from I was a child. So I kind of grew up until I was 11 once again, because I was living with my mother. I went to what we call firstborn church. And then I left to live with my uncle for 4 years. So I went to a New Testament church for 4 years. He was a deacon in the New Testament faith. So for 4 years I was there. And then I went back to live with my mother for another 2 or 3 years. I left my mother when I was 17 years old to go on my own to start working in Portland. So it was a mixture of churches, and I like to tell people that my intimacy with God, even though I did not know began at a very tender age. My mother would beat us to go to church and she would stay home. You know, you don't stay home. She stays home. She cook, do whatever she want to do. But you can't, you know, sometimes we would hide a sock or two, you know, because you don't want to go to church every Sunday. But, you know, she would discipline us just to make sure that we would go to church. And, you know, in church, I would read my Bible extensively because many times I really did not understand what my pastor was teaching at my first church. So I would spend a lot of time and read the Bible. And I think that is probably some of the reasons why I'm still kind of, my memory is vivid concerning the Old Testament because I used to do a lot of that as a child.
Okay, so tell me, you're a boy child in the country. I know you box stroke, you gig, you do marbles, football. Tell us, how did your interaction with men in the society shape your view as to what a man's role is in society? Because I know now you're happily married to Prophetess Joy Manning, a sweet soul. Hello, Prophetess. And you have a wonderful family. You also welcomed a grandchild. How did your history shape this destiny that you're now a part of? Tell us some more in terms of your involvement. You said daddy was absent, and so your uncle was there, but peer pressure, did that affect you?
I would say not too much. And I think God had his hand on me, as I said, but I really didn't know. I had a lot of negativity coming against me as a child. And I think it's just the grace of Christ that really kept me and, you know, kept me to who I am today. Because I have had so much negative thrown against me.
Like nicknames,
Oh,
cheering.
as you can see, I'm a black guy, okay? All right. And there were people who were, in my estimation, blacker than I was. But I was almost as black as me, let me put it that way. But I somehow tend to always be the blackish one. And so at school, they had this thing they called Blackie Tutus. I don't know if you ever heard that one. Okay. So Blackie Tutus was me. I don't know if they invented that or they invented it, but that was me. And so everybody had a problem with my color. And so I would have been ridiculed. I would have been scorned.
Because you too black and ugly. Leave her alone. You're too black, too ugly. You can't play it because you come like somebody like you
quite challenging sometimes, or should have been. I think God really had a hand on me. I think I would not wish for no child to go through. I mean, it was extremely brutal. I call it wickedness. But they didn't know. And had God not really been there for me, I would have been damaged. I would have had low self-esteem.
I was just about to ask about that aspect. If you had any, you know, moments, like really deep depressing moments.
Never.
What did you do to like overcome? Did you go talk to your mother about it? Like, share with me what you did.
That's why I'm honestly, that part of my life is a mystery. I really believe in my heart of heart that God somehow, you know, I'm being serious. I really think God covered me. There's no way a child could have gone through what I went through and it didn't scar them. There's no way. You know, I've never thought of, you know, nowadays everybody want to bleach and it's an in thing.
Yes.
I've never thought of it. I love who I am. And sometimes if you listen to me preach, I say, look at my black face, because I'm black. So I don't know how I came through that.
Yes.
And came out smiling. I really, really believe somehow God really had his hand on me.
Yes.
And preserved. In high school, it wasn't so bad. Once in a blue moon, people would, you know, once upon a time, people would do it. Not so often. So in primary school, it was worse.
Was it a co-ed school?
Yes.
How did you find it with the girls?
They were okay.
They were okay.
Yeah.
How did you relate to them?
To the girls?
Yes, to the girls.
Ha! And here's a drama. I thank God because once again, God kept me. And I think I really need to share this story.
Yes.
I was not too exposed. I mean, I had girlfriends, but my girlfriend and some people's girlfriend is totally different. I have girlfriends, I've never kissed them. I probably max maybe I've held their hand. But when I realized was that, you know, whenever time would make plans to go and, you know, have sex,
yes.
Let's be real, somehow I would not go, it wouldn't work out, I would cancel, whatever it has been.
Can't believe you're still virgin? Really? Can't believe. I know you can't believe you're virgin now?
So you go. No, I could wait a little longer.
Okay, that's what you want.
Yeah, Mom, I could wait.
And throughout this interview, we've heard you referencing that the hands of the Lord were on you, the hedge was there. So tell us about the conversion, because it wouldn't be hard for you to come into Christianity then, or come into a relationship, seeing that favor was upon your life.
As I said, and I kept saying, I did not know.
You didn't know.
I didn't know. I
So
loved
how
God.
did you come into that realization? Did you have a mentor? Did your mother see it? Did a pastor counsel you in that regard? Did some prophet or so forth speak or declare over your life? Tell us.
I didn't know what a prophet was. I've never seen one. But I had a love for God.
Yes.
I mean, as a child, I remember more than once I went to the altar, prayed the sinner's prayer, and I meant it. Preparing, anticipating to be baptized never happened. I think my uncle, they said I was too young.
Yes.
And so that was not the best thing. So I want to speak to parents. When a child comes here and wants to go to God, I do what Jesus Christ said, forbid them not, for of such is the kingdom of God. Because that really kind of pushed me away a bit.
Yes.
And so I became a little bit more wayward in my thinking. And, kind of do what I want to do because, they said, no, you're too young. So since I'm too young, let me go and do what I want to do.
Right.
So I got converted at 16 going 17. Now here's the danger. I got converted, but I was not baptized. But I left and went to Portland.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not finished. We go to a quick break. Stay tuned once we come back.
This program is sponsored by the author of this book, Reverend Dr. Otis Manning, from God Family Ministry International in association with God Family Films. Keys for Spiritual Warfare. Get your copy today. You can get it on Amazon, Kingston Bookshop, and all our God Family International branches. Get your copy today. Keys for Spiritual Warfare.
Keys for Spiritual Warfare by the Reverend Dr. Otis Manning.
Get your copy today in Kingston, 138 Reddings Road, opposite Price Mart, Clarendon, Denby Showground in Montego Bay, the Holiday Inn Village, opposite the Holiday Inn Hotel. You can find us at Amazon.com. You can also find us at drotismanning.com.
Keys for Spiritual Warfare is now available in Kingston Bookshop. Also available for delivery in and around Kingston and the corporate area. Contact 899-2700, 899-2700.
Get yours while stock lasts.
I'll tell you how I got saved. So I'm in Portland. As I said, I got saved, but I didn't take it serious. I got saved 1 month before I wasn't baptized, so I went back into the world. And so I was there for 2 years. So about a year and a half I was in sin, and finally I got saved. About a year and 7 months, somewhere there, or 8 months, somewhere there. I got saved on April 2004. And so 2 weeks later, I got baptized. But the circumstances surrounded me getting saved. Even though I was backslidden, I still loved God.
Yeah.
I had a love for God. I would go to church still. And so I'd be fellowshipping, going to church. I had this annoying gentleman. He was super annoying. Not little, very super annoying. And whenever we see him, we say, Jesus, peace. We can't manage this man. This man and him chatting. I'm not sure if you know Randall Positive. It's actually his father, my spiritual papa. And so Brother Halling would always be coming with the gospel, man. And it was annoying for me. But I didn't know at the time it was really good news. And that's all he would tell us every living day. Gospel, gospel, gospel. So it was annoying. So of course we'd go to church sometimes, and he would always be inviting us, so we'd go. But I'm going to church, but still a little wayward. And I go to Portland, and here is where negative influence hit me. And so one day, by chance, I met this young man, which is where drama starts. I met this young man, and he wanted help. So he asked if I could drive. I didn't know he was crippled. I didn't know anything about him. I said, yes. He said, I move this car, go down there for me now. And so I did it, and he was upset. Apparently, he came with somebody, and they were not doing him right, but he can't walk.
Yeah.
And so the person left him in the car and gone to look for a girl or something like that, or them house, some issue, but he was upset about it. And so I got to know him, and he invited me to come by his house sometimes. And so I picked him up on it. So whenever I come in the community, he come and link me. So we became friends. So, I started to help to drive him around without a driver's license, may I say. And so I started to help him to drive around. And so I started helping him at the house.
Yeah.
He told me he was going to raise chickens. So if I could help him, so yeah, man, I was excited because that would be extra cash coming in. So I went under the disguise to go and raise chicken. I went to help him out, and long and short story, I discovered after driving with him one night, we went to pick up something, and after a few nights, I realized that something we're picking up was illegal substance. And we would go to places, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth. Weekly, we're making 3-4 trips a week. But at the time, I did not know him in marijuana. Let me clarify.
So you don't have a driver's license?
Nope.
You're helping somebody to raise chicken and to drive them around. And here you are as a transporter of things that you don't know of.
And it's ironic because I grew up seeing ganja. I've never smoked. Up to today, I've never put a ganja spliff to my mouth. I'm not a smoker. I never liked it. And it's ironic. And so what happened now was I realized that they were transporting ganja, but I was doing it for the fun to learn. It was developing my skills of driving.
Yes.
So for me, it was a blessing to go.
That's a long skill there from Portland to
Westmoreland.
That's a lot of
one end of the island today. Every time a week. So I learned by that.
From
that's
one extreme to the next.
Oh yes. So that's where I got my skills of learning how to drive primarily.
Yeah.
And so what happened, I realized that really God had a call in my life, even going with them. I remember a few times, I didn't go with them and they got held up, they got robbed. And every time I didn't go, something bad happened. Every time. And I'm like, no, something not adding up. And then one of the guys would always say to me, youth, I don't think you belong here and I really think so if you go serve God.
Yo, brother, you're son of a star, but you go serve God, brother. You hear me, I tell you? But you go serve God, star.
A true man. Them place and a fit him at all.
Yeah, man.
That's what I fit him at. I bet I'm going to serve.
Yo, give us, brother, you know, since we're up on the road and the man come like him and tell me, say, nah.
A long time.
Go serve God, star. Leave this, man. Just leave this, brother.
Yeah, man, a true man.
Leave this alone, brother.
This is the theme works.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Tell me, I tell you.
Don't come on, yeah.
What me say? Got him to go serve.
What you mean?
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, man, cause, yo.
This is where me now, though. You should in this.
Then you know, me alone, I take the tire, put from the car, and the man, they want to tell man, I hold the light, and I tell me, say, no, I take the tire, and I hold the way together.
No, be like yes, man.
Yo, yes, son, you're a thing, brother.
True, man.
Sinner, looking at another sinner, and telling him, I think you forgot to serve God. I mean, I would go and they would be packing up ganja, and they might ask me to help, and I say, boss, I'm here to drive. I'm not touching your stuff. I'm not interested in your stuff. And they always said to me, you don't belong here, so go on, go serve God.
So at some point you became aware of what the activities and the dealings.
Yes.
And so you were distancing yourself from the substance, but you just help them with the driving because you just love drive.
Yes.
That's risky business, but all right.
It was risky. Stupid, because I'm in the car, police stop me. I can't tell them that all of my
and you are the driver.
Oh, yes, sure. I didn't know at the time the dangers that it posed, but for me it was just, it was just having the fun. And I remember constantly, another time we got punctured and them say, yo, we have a thief a tire. I say, thief what tire? I say, listen, me not help a thief no tire.
Yo, look at that. Jeez, yo, you hear that sound there? You hear that? Nah, man, something wrong, man. Let me pull over, because it sound like, say, a tire, puncher, something out there.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Them time of the night and them.
Jamie, go there, go look what I go on, no?
Go see what I go on.
Go there.
Just look at the cooler to run out of the vehicle start.
Reggae trail. Yo, we puncher.
What? You do what?
We have a puncher. Reggae. Why, yo? I don't know what I go on here, but I don't know where this will work out now with puncher. Yo, a puncher, we puncher in the night, you know.
Well, me go tell you this, no. Me not stay up on the road and then me police come down for me.
So what we are do? What we are going to do?
Then on the route, anything that we go do tonight, we have to move from your cell.
What we are do? We have a puncher, we are leak, what we are do?
Hear me, I say. As a matter of fact, right now, me go look at car in a bed, because I have to get a tire to go to Kingston tonight.
What do you mean get a tire?
As a matter of fact, see a car, no matter where you belt me, I
go. Oh, what a brother, you didn't find it. What do you mean? What do you mean? Take off with that. Boss, me not help your teeth, nobody tire.
And I'm serious. We're in a problem. We have weed. We can't stay. And they are saying to me, listen, we need to do this. And I'm like, I'm not helping you. If you want me to shine the light, I'll shine the light. But me not thief nobody nothing.
Yeah.
Brother, well, me, I go get it in just make a take out the lock tool and I go pull off a tire for that then, brother.
Boss man, me help you shine a light, but me not help you thief nobody tire.
Well, come shine the light. Me will take it off.
Alright, me shine the light.
Me take it off, brother.
Me shine the light.
As a matter of fact, I go take out the lock tool.
Yo, me case comes to tell you, so me not help you thief nobody tire.
Yeah.
We black a rat.
Allah, if you like to make a police come to you.
DJ want to catch you.
Nah, man, see me want to say.
Look at you now. You better be careful, I'm going to help you. You almost done, man.
I'm not telling you, I'm not stay here, sir.
You lucky me tell you, me not help you thief nobody tire.
Brother, you hear me say?
Yeah.
Yo, one thing I tell you, brother. I bet you go and go serve God, brother. This is not your life. Yes, sir, enough for you, brother. Them thing you change your attitude and your ways, because this is enough for you. I bet you allow them things and go serve God, brother. Brother, best thing for you. Go and go slow them things and go serve God, brother.
I hear you, sir.
Yeah, man. Them things are not your thing.
Because that was not me. I wasn't brought up that way. Even I'm helping, I had values. And that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what circumstances you are in. You have to have values about yourself. That doesn't matter what people want to take it on. Just have values. But I remember another night, we were coming with an accident.
Driver, look where you're going now. You don't see, I'm not married yet. All me, I'm a pity now, my Anna dead. They want me, I'm a pity them dead in here. Look where you go, driver.
Jesus, driver, you come up for the road. Hey, Jesus Christ, we dead now. Mighty God, save we. Driver!
And the drama unfolded again.
No insurance, no fitness.
We had
no
insurance, but we were not wrong.
Okay.
Problem was we have weed in the car, the bushman is wrong, and they decide that we are not leaving the scene until police comes.
Yo, better we left that shit.
And I saw my first miracle, and I didn't know. I saw the doctor trying to stop us from driving away. Push his hand inside. Don't ask me how his hand was not cut off.
Wow.
I remember in the backseat looking on the man, looking on his hand, because he knew there's no way his hand should have been on his body.
Wow.
To make matters 20 times worse, immediately we drove off. As we were driving off, there came a police car on the scene. And everybody bawled out, catch them. So we don't know if the police is after us. We are driving like crazy. Claudia, I tell you the living truth. This has never happened to me before and after. The vehicle went around a corner on 2 wheels and fell back. And that's the living truth. And I remember in the back of that car, I made a promise to God. I said, God, save me.
Yes.
Get me out of this. I'm finished. And if you get me out, I'm coming to serve you.
Father, if you take me out of this, me not come back. Never!
I don't know if I'm going to die in this crash. I don't know if the police is going to come and get me. And all I know, I'm an innocent little black man just trying to learn to drive. And so I made God a promise. And about 2 or 3 weeks after that, I was 100% baptized.
I am born again.
Wow, excellent. Well, viewers, we do not choose what we become. God makes that decision. If you just yield to Him, you can now be one of our guests here on set. As Dr. Manning says, it's nothing that is peculiar about Him, but it is what is peculiar about the man called Jesus. Give Him a chance. How I got saved. Join us another time for part 2 of a many-part series. Stay tuned.
This program is sponsored by the author of this book, Reverend Dr. Otis Manning, from God Family Ministry International in association with God Family Films. Keys for Spiritual Warfare. Get your copy today. You can get it on Amazon, Kingston Bookshop, and all our God Family International branches. Get your copy today. Keys for Spiritual Warfare.
Keys for Spiritual Warfare by the Reverend Dr. Otis Manning.
Get your copy today in Kingston, 138 Redis Road, opposite Price Mart, Clarendon, Denby Showground in Montego Bay, the Holiday Inn Village, opposite the Holiday Inn Hotel. You can find us at Amazon.com. You can also find us at drotismanning.com.
Keys for Spiritual Warfare is now available in Kingston Bookshop. Also available for delivery in and around Kingston and the corporate area. Contact 899-2700, 899-2700.
Get yours while stock lasts.
God Family Films. Please like and subscribe for further details.